Devotion, you might find it very difficult to understand. If you look at the original, it is not so difficult. It is systematically organized as a work in a whole, and the different parts are logically connected together. However, because Rupa Goswami gives a lot of quotations from different scriptures to support his points, sometimes, especially in English, we tend to get a little bit lost on where the book is going, because there may be a series of 20 quotations going in one direction of this, but we don't actually know where it's going. But if we look in the Sanskrit, it's obvious what those quotations are for. So it becomes a little difficult in English, especially because the way it's edited also is a little difficult. Part of the book is in the introduction. The main part of the work with the definition of bhakti is actually in the introduction, and halfway through the introduction I think it's cut, and then part of it is in the first chapter like this, and the chapters are divided rather strangely also. So it's very difficult to follow the structure according to Rupa Goswami from that book. So, as I said, it's not so difficult to understand after all. It's actually not only the first part, but even the second part and third part and the fourth part, which generally we don't study at all. Those are also not that difficult to understand as long as we know exactly the plan that Rupa Goswami is following. So, are they getting the other projector or not? No.
He's getting Amrit as well.
No, he's here.
He's here.
He's under sitting here.
All right.
Huh?
I gave no morning. Somebody took from the house. Sukriti took it.
Someone's getting it or not?
They didn't bring from it.
Oh, anyway. This one. We didn't do anything to it. You can try again. So anyways, the work, as I said, consistently organized. It's divided into 4 parts, because Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu means an ocean. An ocean usually, of course, is a huge body of water. In bhakti literature, the ocean usually refers to the ocean of bhakti or whatever, a big reservoir of devotion. And he's divided the work into 4 parts. So technically the ocean is divided into 4 parts. So it's the eastern and the western and the northern and the southern sections, the first of which is the east section, or the Purva Vibhag. So that is the section we're studying. So just as I said, we have directions and oceans, etc. like that. So in this particular ocean we have east defining the types of bhakti, a general definition of bhakti, the types of bhakti and the qualities of bhakti. That is eastern section. Then you go to the southern part of the ocean, and you got the ingredients, the 5 ingredients of rasa. That is vibhava, anubhava, sattvika bhava, vyabhicharya bhava, and sthayi bhava. And you go to the western ocean, then the ingredients combine into rasas. So we get 5 primary rasas: shanta rasa, dasa rasa, sakya rasa, vasalya rasa, and madhurya rasa. So those are described in the western section. Then in the northern section we have secondary rasas, such as fear or virya or hasya, anger, etc. 7 secondary rasas. And rasa bas, contradictions to rasa, those are described in the northern section. So we are going to go through the eastern section. Eastern section has 4 waves. The ocean has waves. So here we have different waves in the eastern section. We have 4 waves actually. 1 general wave, and then 1 for sadhana bhakti, 1 for bhava bhakti, and 1 for prem bhakti. The waves are actually the chapters. So the work begins with a Mangal Acharan, or a verse invoking auspiciousness. So this is a tradition in Sanskrit works that you put some little verse in the beginning, and that verse serves to, of course, invoke auspiciousness and blessings. It indicates the subject of the work and the importance of the work. So, this is the verse of Rupa Goswami, Akila Rasa Amrita Murti. As we know, the subject matter from the title, Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu, has to do with bhakti and rasa. So, here, Akila Rasa Amrita Murti means the form of all sweet rasas. Who is that form? That, of course, is mentioned indirectly, but by the word Vidu, which means Supreme Lord, Krishna, in the last line. So, Krishna is the incarnation, or the very embodiment of all rasas, which means all 7 rasas. Of course, we can say all forms of God are embodiment of all the rasas, but they are not explicit, in the sense that Rama does not show explicit or abundant Sakyarasa or whatever, or Vishnu does not display Sakyarasa and dominantly Dasyarasa. So Krishna displays all the rasas, Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya, very explicitly and very abundantly, plus all the secondary rasas. So therefore he is, when we say Akila Rasa Amrita Murti, we're referring to Krishna. And this is made, of course, clear by the other words. Prasimra Ruchi Ruda, Taraka Pali Kalita, Shama Lalita, Radha Prayan, Vidurjayati. He brings under his control Taraka and Palika by his extended beauty. He is embraced by Shama and Lalita and is beloved of Radha. So obviously it's Krishna we're referring to here, because these are the gopis. So Krishna is the embodiment of all rasas, more than any other form of the Lord. So as I said, the other forms of the Lord are also embody rasa, but Krishna is the most complete exhibition of all these rasas. So there is a little bit of logic here. We saw there were gopis, Taraka and Pali, and Shama, Lalita, and Radha. So they also have a particular sequence. So this is in relation of Radha. Radha is considered the supreme gopi, and therefore the supreme expression of Madhurya Rasa. And then she has her immediate group called the Swapaksha, her own group, which has Lalita and Vishaka in it. And a little further apart we have friendly groups, such as Shamala. And then further away we have other groups that are called Tatashta, neutral groups, Taraka and Shama. And then on the opposite side we have Vipaksha groups, that is followers of Chandravali, who is the competitor for Radha. So there's Pali, Padma, and Sabya in that group. So what we have here in the verse, we have the Taraka and Pali, then Shama, then Lalita, and then Radha. So we have from the most distant to the most intimate, that is in terms of Radha at least, gopis mentioned here. So Radha is the supreme gopi, and the next there's Lalita, then we have Shama, and then we have Taraka and Palika. So that's the sequence from most intimately associated with Krishna to more distant. So of course these are all gopis. Krishna is also related in other rasas as well, but Madhurya Rasa is taken because that's considered to be the highest and most intense rasa of all. So that example of the gopis is given here. So this verse that's the meaning of the verse, the literal meaning. But in Sanskrit, sometimes they use the words to give other meanings. So Vidu, of course, means Krishna here, Supreme Lord, or it can mean Vishnu also, but it also means the moon. So the verse describes the moon. Now the moon is considered to be the source of nectar also in poetry. It sprinkles nectar, the moon. And of course we know it's the source of rasa because plants also get rasa from the moon, in the phases of the moon. So Akila Rasa Amrita Murti also refers to the moon, full of all rasas and amrita. Prasimra Ruchi Ruda. Ruchi of course means the glow that spreads out around the moon. And Taraka means stars. Pali means a lot of stars, so it's a lot of stars. And Shama, of course, means darkness, the night. And Radha refers to a certain group of stars. And the Vishaka Nakshatra is called Radha. There's another name for it. So we get another meaning to the verse in terms of the moon. So the full moon, which destroys suffering and creates happiness by its cooling rays, extends everywhere with its excellent qualities and beauty. That's Prasimra Ruchi Ruda. It is the very form of nectar filled with all taste. That is Akila Rasa Amrita Murti. It eclipses the host of stars by its light. Taraka Pali. Accepts the playful gestures of the night. Shamalalita, Kalita Shamalalita, and fondly enters the Vishaka constellation in the spring season. So that is Radha, the Radha Nakshatra. So Radha Nakshatra is the Vishaka Nakshatra. We also have a Vaishak month. So when the Purnima enters Vishaka Nakshatra, then we get actually Vaishak month, at least in old seasons. So therefore it describes the spring season. And the moon in that season, the full moon with the Vishaka Nakshatra is considered very wonderful, very beautiful. So it's a description of the nighttime sky in the spring season with the full moon and Vishaka Nakshatra. So that image is used to enhance the main image of this. That is Krishna with all the gopis, etc. That verse introduces the subject matter, meaning rasa, and the person who is the center of that rasa, who is Krishna, and his associates, the gopis, and the highest rasa, Madhurya rasa. He also offers respects to Sanatana Goswamis, and he offers respects to the devotees. He compares the devotees to makara, which are not sharks and not dolphins. They're actually this. Hey, what happened to our thing?
Your power is...
No power?